y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome back to another trade recap. So this is probably gonna be the last day I trade for the entire week, if I'm gonna be completely honest, because tomorrow, probably won't be the best. After seeing price action like this on a CPI day, after two no news days and then a shitty Wednesday, it kind of just goes to show that tomorrow is probably not going to be good at all. I mean, we could look at the weekly time frame, look to see if we might get a TGIF setup. I don't know. I mean, this weekly candle doesn't look too convincing, if I'm being completely honest. We might get one though, but we'll just see. Let's just get into the trade recap because I know today was very interesting. Depending on who you ask, people might say it was shitty price action, to make up or cope for an excuse as to why they lost. So, fortunately, I didn't lose today, and I actually won. So, let's just go ahead and go over that. So, let me just tell you everything I was thinking going into the morning and just give you an idea of what AJ is thinking every single morning, especially on days like this, and how you can expect stuff like this to happen. And I have a video of that on my YouTube as well, how to, go into days expecting chop or just bad price action. Go ahead and check that video out. It's one of my most latest videos. It's great. You're going to learn a lot of information from that. I'd recommend highly to go check it out. So do that. And let's go and look at the chart here. So basically coming into the morning at around, right at the open, 9:45, 9:30, whatever, right here on the 15-minute candle, I noticed this fair value gap right here, right on the 15-minute. It was filled, and then I went to the 30-minute, and I realized, oh shit, okay, so there's another gap here on the 30-minute that has not been filled yet, right? Hasn't been filled, right? We look at this range here as well, right? Rebalanced equilibrium of that range here, right? But we still left this inefficiency here. So coming into the morning, right? If we look, remember this is your 30-minute gap right here. So this is 8:42 pre-market, right? We come up, data highs, or news creates data highs, and these data highs actually trade above midnight open, right? And what do you notice? Same thing I told you guys yesterday about this 7:30 and 8:30 open, right? If we look at these 7:30 opening price of 7:30 is right there. Where is price at the opening price? Right here, below 7:30 open. We look at the same for 8:30 open. Jesus, it's the same concept, right? The opening price of the candle of the CPI was here. So we're trading below 7:30 and 8:30 opening price, which is what? A time-based discount. So it's a time-based discount. Price as well here tapped true open or midnight open, right? Treating this as resistance for now at least, right? Usually if the data high or data lows are already taken and we're racking off PD arrays, most likely we're going to end up taking the data highs. So, and then obviously we took previous day high as well. But I just had to be patient going into the day because nothing was clear at open, right? Open happened here at this bearish candle. We open, print this candle, and then immediately trade up, soup to high, chop, and then dump. I was low-key bearish at this point, but then at this point I didn't realize that there was a 30-minute gap. So once I saw this dump, I was thinking about getting a retrace to go short here. And I saw this 30-minute gap that actually just appeared. So in this case, I watched the gap, see how we reacted off of it, and notice once we closed through this fair value gap here on the 1 minute, which was past equilibrium of this range, and I saw that this order block was balanced. This order block, right? This is basically a mitigation here. We trade through the gap, right? If we look at ES on the same gap, we trade above the same exact high that we trade above there. That high right there. Trade above it, and also this high right here at 946, right? We have an SMT with it, which is why this isn't a good entry to take right away, right? So if you entered here at 955, right, this 955 candle on ES already took this high at 946 that you want to see how it treats, right? So you're just being patient. You don't want to enter off the first inverse you see, right? If you did, you get chopped up like this, and then nothing happens. So if you're patient, and exactly what I did, my top step, I waited for an SMT here at these lows, okay? Once we got that SMT, it was prominent enough for me to take, right? I was watching this range here too because we didn't hit equilibrium. I wanted to see us hit equilibrium, but then once I noticed that SMT divergence, I was like, okay, now this makes more sense to want to go back up and target, the data highs and the previous day highs. So I took everything off at the consequent encroachment of the 1 hour data high, consequent encroachment of the wick. So I took it off there. And my entry basically was right here. So we have two fair value gaps here. So what do? I go on the higher time frame, and I look to see are there any gaps on the higher time frame. So in this case, there wasn't. So We have this highest 1 minute fair value gap right here. We inverse that. I don't enter right away because I see this price action. I'm like, okay, damn. This SMT right here could just be a move to push up, take this high and then trade lower again to, maybe take equilibrium. But I was very confident. I had conviction in the fact that this SMT was going to hold, and then that would drive price higher after inversing this 1 minute gap. So that's what happens. We inverse the 1 minute gap. We get another candle, just closes bullish, and then we get another candle that closes. We trade down into it and then close above it, which is a very strong reaction, which I liked. And then we got this candle that tapped into it again and closed. That's where I entered. So it's like an extra confirmation for me. And then I had this area in mind here. I want to see how we react to here. So we hit this level. Obviously my entry was here. I'm moving my stop to break even at this point. And then once I realized that we had another SMT right here, right? Notice how the 1120 low on NQ is not taken, but it is on ES. So we run that low. We get an SMT right there. We get an inversion right here on this gap. Only reason I didn't add to this one is because look, ES didn't inverse that gap. We're still in this accumulative range from this high to this low, right? So once we inverse this, obviously we trade up into the new day opening gap and then trade lower again, respecting this gap. You see how we don't get displacement out of it? We're respecting it, right? You might see we might close through it a little bit, but it's a very weak close indicating we want to go higher, right? And there's no drawn liquidity, just lower. Everything's already rebalanced. So once this SMT happens, I wait for that inversion. See how we react. New day opening gap gets tapped. We come back into this fair value gap right here. It aligns with ES, right? The same gap that's tapped with ES, same one on NQ. And then we get an art inversion right here at 1140, and it aligns with ES trading above this down close candle, acting as ACISD on ES. So now since we could pair those two together, we can come to the conclusion that this inversion here is going to send us straight to the previous day's high. And in this case, I got out at the 1155 candle, which was right here. So this was right here. Literally the close of this candle was CE of the 1 hour data high wick. So that's where I got out. So caught a nice 50 points. And then I actually took another trade right here on one of my other evals, because I didn't want to trade my lives anymore because I already made plenty of money for the week. Didn't want to give back profits to the market. That would be dumb, right? So basically what I saw here as well, right? We have our mitigation, right? So here's our A leg, our B leg, our C leg, and then our D leg, right? What happens? We have our range condition here. All right, shout out to Adonomics. We have our range condition here. Notice what we do. We trade up into the 5 minute fair value gap, acting as this is our access point. Oh my god, the gardeners are going crazy right now. So this 5 minute fair value gap is acting as our axis. And then what do I look for? I look for an inefficiency, like a fair value gap, to inverse to take it down to the low. That was it. I took it off of the range equilibrium, and now it's going back up to buy side, whatever the fuck it's doing. I don't know. But that was it. I just took a 30-second inversion right there. I want to see it close through the volume imbalance, which we did see, and then I entered right there and then got out right at the lows down there. EQ of the 5 minute range, hourly range, whatever you want to look at it as. But yeah, that was it. Most likely won't be trading tomorrow. I'll probably be on just looking at price. And I am teaching a few people right now, so I am going to be going live with a couple people tomorrow morning just to kind of show them, show them around, show them what trading really is about and all that good stuff. So that's all I got for you guys. I'll see you guys on Monday, and hopefully you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Peace.